for April 7th, 2021. Joe had called me yesterday and asked if he could
That's probably
call
somebody.
in. It's probably him.
Yeah.
Because it's his daughter's birthday, so make sure we tell her happy birthday.
Have some cake.
As the Butte Silver Bell Council meeting of,
Economic development.
welcome to the meeting. Please state your name and address. Hello.
Good evening, it's just me. This is Joe.
It's just Joe. Joe. It's never just Joe. All right,
Thank
so,
you so much for the flexibility to let me call in.
of course, we want you to spend time with your family whenever possible. We all wish we could do it, so. All right, so I'll give you the floor, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be fairly brief this evening, even though I got a lot to report. My daughter turning 8 is particularly impactful because I started at Headwaters about 3 weeks before she was born. And to be honest, the reason I stopped rowing a boat for a living is because we had her and I wanted to get paid in the winter and become an adult. So it's a big milestone in our household.
Well, tell her happy birthday from the committee.
Yes.
I will, for sure. First things first, recruitment has been incredibly busy. And I've got this written down that I'll email over as well. Our normal recruitment schedule is the fall time. We get a lot of leads in September, October, kind of trailing off into November. And there's been no slowdown at all this year. So we've been working with the ones I've mentioned in the past, and the one that is going public is called Foothold. You may have heard about them. They are a manufactured homemaker, like a prefab homemaker. It's a young, it's two young business partners from Bozeman who have chosen to site at the Montana Connections Park. They are manufacturing homes to address our state's affordable housing issue, which if you've seen any of the news or have been on Twitter lately, the average price for homes in Bozeman last year went up 34%. The average sale price was $604,000. We've been very fortunate in Butte and all of our neighboring areas that it's not that bad, but there's certainly a level of that that's coming. And Sam and Hannah are the principals of this company, and they're looking to build houses in the smallest is like an accessory dwelling unit you put in your backyard. The biggest is about 1,300 square feet. They're the company we wrote the Big Sky Trust Fund grant for that was awarded this past round. And they're looking in the neighborhood of probably 6 to 8 employees as they get started. They're hiring their first construction manager right now. In fact, they may have already made an offer. They were in town for it last week. But really exciting to see them choose Butte. They're in one of those condoed units right next to Septic Net, if you're familiar with the Connections Park. And so really, really excited to see them come to town. And you'll notice kind of a reoccurring theme here, people even within the state that are looking to come to Butte when it comes to starting a new business. The next one we had was a business in the manufacturing sector that we actually had out for a site visit yesterday morning. So myself, Chief Executive Gallagher, Karen and Kristen, and a few other folks went and toured this company through the park, showed them what's going on out there, sat down and talked to them at the chief's office. Really good visit, definitely early stage. It's a product that's looking to go to prototype, but they want to manufacture in Montana, and it's one where we're definitely competing against other communities within the state. But I'm very confident we have a leg up when it comes to manufacturing, so excited to see another lead there. And then since the last time I talked to you, we had an additional lead that reached out for a request for information. This is definitely a bigger project. I think the employment numbers they're looking at, frankly, would be challenging for us. But more than anything, it's exciting to know that we're on this stage. They're looking at one other community within Montana, and then everywhere else they're looking at is in every part of the country you could imagine except for the West Coast. And so we're going to have a response back to that RFI. I would anticipate, based on what they shared, that at our June meeting I would know whether they are planning on moving forward with us or looking at a different place. It's definitely got big potential. We're excited excited about the opportunity, but it's some of these other ones I've mentioned, like Foothold, you know, I shared at our last meeting, yeah, this is going to happen. We're confident in this. There's other bigger ones, certainly not on that level, but I mean, Butte's very much on the map when it comes to these things, which is really a testament to the work of our partnership with you guys and the work we do with Butte-Silver, the connections part. We have a contract to do marketing with them, and it's exciting to see these leads come in. And yeah, very, very strange, frankly, that it's coming in at this time of year. It's unusual. Additionally, on the recruitment side, and one that you won't see in my report, but I brought up last time, we have one that's looking at town in more of the entertainment sector. They're going to be having a site visit towards the middle of next week or the following week. And then the uptown building redevelopment opportunities are continuing like crazy. We met with a gentleman yesterday that purchased the DMLA building, walked through that, which was good. We're working with folks on potential funding for several other buildings in uptown. And we also met with Mark Garth yesterday, who I mentioned on probably our January call. He works for a large landscape architecture firm that has offices in Seattle and throughout Colorado. His company gave him the green light to site anywhere he wanted in Montana, and he chose to site Butte as well. And so even more traction on just the individual level where we're seeing those type of companies expand. That one in particular is good because there's a gap statewide for landscape architecture. And I know I'm beating the dead horse here, but yeah, that side of our business has been incredibly busy and don't really anticipate it slowing down. More people are continuing to look. I'm excited to see net in-migration for this year as well as our final census numbers. And the buzz we've been talking about for a while is very real. So that's it on the recruitment front. Since I can't see you guys in hands or anything, does anyone have any questions before I move on to retention?
Commissioner Callahan.
Joe, you just had mentioned that job-wise was probably a little too big for our area. How many people are they looking for?
First stage is in the neighborhood of 400, which we could do. Final stage is 12 to 1,500, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
And I hope I'm not coming across as negative about it. We've seen enough of those to know that that's a challenging number. But that being said, we're not afraid of a challenge.
Yep. We'll give it our best, right?
Oh, 100% for sure.
Anybody?
And at that level, we'll need more homes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship, isn't it?
Very much so.
I think, anybody else? Okay, carry on, Joe.
All right, so retention. Overall attitude, I think of particularly our retail sector and a lot of our small businesses in town is definitely higher and is continuing to grow. People are getting vaccinated. People are getting more confidence to go out. If for some reason you haven't been in uptown lately, you walk around and grab lunch and there's a lot more foot traffic than even a month ago. And obviously part of that is we've got a heck of a lot nicer weather than we did even Monday. But people are just regaining that confidence to go out, and that's really good for our small businesses. So much of the fall we talked about getting to this point. We're finally here, and the combination of vaccines as well as the warmer weather, tourism season coming up, we're excited to see people out and about. Still tons of visitors. I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but still license plates from all over, and it seems to be increasing. And I'm assuming people are getting out on the road early. Everybody knows we got a pretty significant number of visitors last summer, and I wouldn't anticipate that to be any different. We were on a tourism call recently, and they were talking about record numbers of years for both Glacier and Yellowstone. Glacier's actually doing a ticket system to drive the Going to the Sun Road now. And as we all know, we're smack dab in the middle of there. So as many of those folks as we can peel off the highway to support our local businesses, the better. Thanks to your guys' support with the mill levy, we launched the grant program that we put into our proposal on April 1st. On the first day, we had about a dozen applicants. I haven't tracked back on it today, but it's been well received so far. The Montana standard, they've agreed to match. So for every applicant that is successful, They'll be receiving $1,000 worth of marketing funding to help promote their business with the Montana Standard. So really nice public-private partnership to help drive even more foot traffic in the door. And then on the Headwaters side, I would recommend looking up our website. We're doing an incredible amount of trainings. And so if you know any small business owners that need any sort of training on anything, we're doing, digital marketing, QuickBooks. We're doing kind of more progressive workplace things like how to handle stress at the workplace, how to deal with conflict at the workplace, things like that. More HR type topics. And those things are being rolled out on the weekly. Additionally, we are going to be doing Economic Development Week again, and that's one I should have punched in here that it just jogged my memory. So that is the first week of May. I know some of you have participated in that in the past, and it's going to be a combination of training, speakers, talking about a lot of the issues that are really facing our community right now, housing, workforce, broadband, things like that. It's going to be a primarily digital format. We may try to do something outdoors, but we're so close to the end of the road with COVID. We're being very conscious about not pulling together people into a group. That being said, we will be going back to our normal in-person trainings and events starting June 1st. So we're very close there, which we're excited about. We also, and I'll hit on this a little bit later, we are working with businesses on the SBA restaurant grants, the Restaurant Recovery Grant. And that is a grant that they rolled out specifically for restaurants. There's about I believe it was 26.8 or $28.6 billion that are dedicated to the program. And it is directly and only for restaurant owners. We all know how hard restaurants have been hit during this, so we're very excited to see that move forward. I'm going to jump to Uptown Master Plan next. Does anyone have any questions on retention?
Commissioner O'Neill. Chair, Madam.
Joe, I'll be calling you about the restaurant thing, the grant SBA thing. I know didn't catch that one. I just want to forewarn you, I'm attacking you on that. Thank you very much.
Attack seems a little aggressive, Commissioner O'Neill, but
You know,
I'm good with that.
I want to tell you, Joe, my attack's a hug. It's a, you know what I mean? So I will stay 6 feet when I do it, but you'll see me want to hug, so that's as aggressive as I get.
It's the sloppy lips you
That's
put
good.
in.
I've got all on.
He's very excited to be back in person.
Uptown Master Plan, we've got a short blurb for this one. It's moving along. The steering committee is meeting every other week. We've got small stakeholder groups that are meeting, and everything's on track to be done at the end of this year, which is really exciting. We had a great discussion with our local police chief as well as the fire department and talked public safety and health, which was, you know, it's one of the biggest challenges you hear all the time in Uptown, and talking about the difference between perception and reality and how all that works. I'm very, very excited to see what comes out of that. Especially with my background in planning, it's going to be a really good guiding document for all of us. I mean, whether it's you guys making land use decisions or us working with small businesses, being able to grow Uptown is a good thing for everywhere, honestly, within our county, and excited to see that one move forward. I'll open that up to questions before I go to the sets.
I don't see any questions, but I was wondering, do you know roughly when the next public call will be on that?
I would say mid-May to early June.
Okay.
They're actually going to be up this summer too, and we anticipate finally being able to do some in-person things.
Yeah, great. That last one was awesome.
I am so blown away at how many folks showed up. I mean, over 220 people on the call. It was the best Zoom we've done all year.
Yeah, it was really great. Content was great too.
Yeah, they are very sharp guys. All right, we hosted Building Butte today, actually. You guys will get to hear about that at every one of these because we've lined it up at the first Wednesday of the month. We had Senator Tester last time. We had Chief Executive Gallagher to kick it off on our first one. And today we had Brent Donnelly, who's the District Director for SBA. So SBA obviously has been a huge partner during COVID. They did the PPP loans. They did the EIDL loans. They're doing the restaurant program. They have a shuttered venue grant for things like the Motherlode and our local theaters. And they've just been front and center during all of COVID to help small businesses. And so Brent actually did a really fantastic presentation today, talked about all the challenges they've faced in the last year, how communities have rallied together, and then shared some good local examples of how PPP has helped. And for our May one, we're reaching out to Governor Gianforte. Hopefully he has recovered from COVID by then and will be able to join us on the call. And that's the plan for that one. If not, we'll find somebody else, but I would highly recommend jumping on one of those. It's the first Wednesday at noon. It's digital, and it's been a really good interactive program. Any questions on that one?
Any questions? No? No, we're good, Joe.
All right, and then the final one I had, and then I'll open it up to general questions, is Anaconda Arco COVID loan. So the money you guys supported last year, right about this time, to loan to small businesses. We ended up doing a grand total of 19 loans. 16 of the 19 loans are currently paying back right on schedule. We've been in constant communication with the 3 borrowers who are facing more significant challenges. I certainly anticipate us getting paid back by them as well. 2 of the 16 that are paying back have actually fully paid their loans off. If you would have asked me this time last year when we rolled this program out if we would have seen this level of payback, I don't think I would have been as optimistic about the results as we've experienced. So I just want to say thank you to you guys. We're really grateful that you trusted us to run this program. It deployed $10,000 on really business-friendly terms right at the peak of COVID and a lot of uncertainty. And unless a lot of people really change their tune in what we've seen, I don't know that we could have had a more successful program. And exciting to see people paying back, exciting to see that money come back in, and you guys will have, worst case scenario, the vast majority of the money you gave us to relend or put towards other projects. So really, really grateful for your guys' support on that one. Before I open it up to general questions, the one that I always want to bring up is Praxis. I've talked to Ray. We've been working a lot with the state legislature on the ARPA money that they have. So they're allocating about $2.6 billion, with a lot of it aimed for infrastructure, broadband, and workforce. And of course, Ray's project fits very well in that workforce niche. We're hoping to get some funding out of there, but it's also the state legislature, so you never know. And also have been providing input and working hand in hand with Chief Executive Gallagher for other suggestions to the legislators. We were up there 2 weeks ago, had dinner with most of our local and regional delegation, talked to them about the needs of our community, where we thought money would work best, what projects would be impactful, and what would really drive economic development. And for the most part, we're all speaking the same language, which is really a good thing. And then the last one, I wanted to follow up from Commissioner Callahan's question last time about the Hardee's building. And I've talked to everybody I know in town, from Chief Executive Gallagher on down, and nobody has an answer for what's going on there, unfortunately. So, Commissioner Callahan, like we talked a week or so ago, you found one that stumped us.
Well, I haven't heard any more on it either.
It's always fun to be able to start the rumors, too. We usually try not to. If I was ever going to start one, it's going to be trying to recruit a Cold Stone Creamery just because I love ice cream. But, yeah, on that one.
There's room for both.
Joe, do you know if Taco John's has been sold? Or can you say?
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't. I could find out, though.
I spoke to him just the other day, so far.
Commissioner Callahan says no. We were just mulling it over as I was eating potato lays for dinner tonight.
Josh had a question on Kmart though. Any more word?
Nothing new since we last spoke to you. I know that the developer we had spoke to is re-engaged. I personally have not had direct conversations with him, but I do know there's conversations happening. I can assure you that's going to be one we're going to be very excited to share with you the second there's any traction there, but for the time being, it's mostly just discussions.
All right. Sorry, I'm taking notes. Anybody have any other business for the good of the order? Any questions for Mr. Willauer? No? All right. That's a record meeting, Joe. 21 minutes. Good job.
I greatly appreciate it. I'm disappointed not to be there in person, but I have a very happy 8-year-old that I get to go cut cake with right now. So
Well, we're
thank
happy
you for your
too.
guys' flexibility to let me call in, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in person in May.
Of course, that sounds great. Thank you.
Hey, Joe, before you leave, sorry to interrupt, on the Cold Stone thing too, if you could get a crumble in
Ooh,
town, it'd be great.
it's a good call.
Right next door to each other would be very convenient for me.
Yep, I'm in. I'm down.
I haven't been there yet, but I've heard good
Oh.
things. You guys have all seen me in person enough to know I don't turn away a cookie.
Yeah, I'll bring you one when I go down to see Mallory.
Change your life.
Sounds good.
They will. All right, Joe, thank you. Tell your daughter happy birthday again, and you have a good night.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Joe.
Bye.
All right.
Wonderful.
Anything else for the good of the order?
When you guys come in, there's always these sitting right there on the back if you want to grab one.
Honestly, I'm so excited.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will second it.
We are adjourned. Okay. All right, we're done. Jason, you can turn us